Hey there, this is Brian Carney, and you're listening to No Good Music. Woo-woo!
So we have a special guest with us today. He's actually in the studio with us. I can't believe it.
I'm right here.
He's a voiceover artist, actor. He also tells me he's a musician.
We're going to find out.
An all-around great guy. Let's welcome to No Good Music, Mr. Brian Carney.
Oh, please, sit down. Everybody sit down.
So how was the drive?
The drive was uneventful. I didn't see any snow. Well, one little area, there was a little bit of snow on the ground.
Yeah, we were worried about the weather.
No, but nothing at all.
Yeah.
And it was raining pretty hard right before I got to your house here. But no, it was a good trip.
Nice. Thank you for driving here.
Oh, it's okay.
Because we could have done it on Zoom, but
that's all right.
It's great you being here.
My pleasure. I don't know how to do the Zoom thing anyway. So.
Okay.
This is much better.
Yeah.
Your voice is, it's just like you're right here,
It's like I'm right here.
Yeah.
I know it is.
Yeah. Now, Jim, you wanted to start at the beginning, is it?
Yeah, let's start at the very beginning.
Yeah, very beginning.
Tell us about the day you were born.
The day I was born, February 21st, 1946. I was told I was born at 9:25 in the morning.
Okay.
And I don't remember much from that day.
It was dark.
It was dark, and then you saw the light.
Place.
And then it was light. Uh-huh.
So for our listeners, your father was Art Carney, great actor, comedian, played Ed Norton, of course, on the Honeymooners, and
right.
won an Academy Award for Harry and Tonto.
Mm-hmm.
When you were young, your friends' fathers, parents had regular jobs.
Most of them, yeah.
Yeah.
They did.
When did you realize that your father had a different job or realized he was an actor or famous? Like, was there a point?
Yeah. Well, I think it was because people talked about what my dad did more than what some of my other friends' fathers did.
Okay.
A dentist or a lawyer or whatever, because he was in the public eye. And so then I realized something was, going on. And also, very often people would treat me a little differently, too. I would get that, but you can kind of see right through that very often.
Yeah,
Yeah, you see through it. Even at a young age, you can kind of go, what's he doing? Why is he being so nice to me,
Where you live, were you living in, when you were like, 8, 10, were you in Connecticut? Or?
No, I was living in Crestwood, which is part of Yonkers, New York.
Oh, okay. So you got the Honeymooners on Channel 11.
Yeah,
okay.
when I was about 10 years old, the Honeymooners came on. The Gleason show was before that, but then the Honeymooners, took on a life of its own, and that was around 1955 when they started filming the show, and I was 9 years old then, 9 or 10.
And I was wondering, so your classmates and such, is that a show that they would watch, or their parents would be watching?
Everybody was watching that, I think, in New York.
Well, yeah, I don't know if the kids were watching it. I can't really remember if they said anything about it, but I know the parents were. Yeah, and especially because the people in Crestwood, where I grew up, were watching it, because he lived right down the street, so it was a big deal.
And when it was first on, it was a weekly, so it was once a week.
Right.
Now, when I was like, I don't know, 8, 10, it was in reruns by that time. And my dad watched it a lot. So I think it was on every night then.
Yeah, when I was in college, a lot of my college friends, we would watch it at night also.
So your dad brought you to work one day, right?
A couple of times. At a very young age, I remember being there. I don't remember specifics, really. I remember one funny time he had me off stage, and the June Taylor dancers who used to open up the Gleason show were coming off stage, and my father was standing next to me, And as the girls came off, he would say, "This is my son, Brian. Hi, this is my son, Brian. This is my son, Brian."
Oh, yeah.
And all I remember really was rear ends and legs.
Yeah.
That's all I saw because I was, only about 4 feet tall. But I remember that and being on the set of the Honeymooners also.
Did you meet the cast? Did you meet Audrey Meadows?
Yeah, I knew Audrey Meadows pretty well, and I knew Trixie pretty well, Joyce Randolph. Gleason I only met a couple of times, but he was nice to me. He kind of was brief. He'd say, my father would say, "Jackie, you remember meeting my son Brian?" And he'd go, "Yeah, how you doing, pal? How's school? Yeah, okay." And that was pretty much the conversation with Jackie Gleason.
Yeah. So you've done some acting yourself.
Yeah, I've done some acting, mainly in TV commercials.
But I found your first movie you did called Ravagers.
Ravagers.
Yeah.
Yes.
From 1979.
Oh, boy.
Is this true?
This is true.
Yeah.
You were probably in your 20s, I would say. Late 20s.
I guess late 20s.
Yeah. Ernest Borgnine was in that. Richard Harris, and of course your father.
Woody Strode from Spartacus. He was in it.
Oh.
Ann Turkel, who was married to Richard Harris.
Okay. Did you meet Richard Harris?
Yeah.
I always thought he was a strange fellow.
He was very nice.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody was great. I think Woody Strode was just a wonderful guy. And boy, when we'd go into a restaurant or something after we'd been shooting, the place would go crazy over him.
Wow.
Yeah. He was, I think he lived in Hawaii, but he was a really nice guy. And Ernest Borgnine also was terrific. We had lunch together a number of times.
Okay.
While we were shooting the movie.
Yeah, I was wondering about him, what it would be like to work with him or meet him. Yeah.
Oh, he was great. He was great.
You're in the movie more than one scene, but I noticed you don't have any speaking role.
Yes, I do.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
One of my lines was, "Ravagers!"
Oh, okay.
That was one of my lines.
There you go.
Another line I said, they asked me about where we get the fish that we were eating, and I said, "We get them right here in the channel." And those are the only two lines I remember. I might have had one other line.
Now I have a picture here because I wasn't sure which person you were.
Boy, I'm glad this is radio.
But this kind of looks like you.
So we're going to see.
Is this you?
That's me.
Okay.
That's me. I had a beard, and I had my little...
you were wondering about that.
My little Pisces tattoo on my shoulder, which is I still have.
Okay.
That's a real tattoo.
Oh, okay.
So the guy went, don't cover that up.
Yeah. I was thinking that might have been, for the movie done in, ink.
No,
not under the skin, but it is. It's authentic.
That's a real one.
All right, for our listeners, he's showing it. There it is.
Wow.
There it is.
Yeah. They get a photo.
Wait a minute, we got a picture.
Hey, this is a PG podcast.
Was I smiling?
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. Yeah, and you've got a skull cap like the Edge from U2. I see. Yeah, you started that. Very good. Very good.
Yeah, very exciting. And the thing about the movie, it went directly to VHS.
Okay.
It didn't go into any theaters or anything.
I found it on Tubi, I think it's called.
Well, we got a copy of it before it was released anywhere, and my father and I were up in Connecticut watching it. And it really wasn't very good. And I hope I'm not stepping on anybody's toes here. But after about a half hour, my father turned to me and he went, "What the hell's going on in this thing?"
And he was in it.
He didn't even know what was going on.
I can't follow this.
Well, when you film a movie, you might film it out of sequence too.
Yeah.
And you really kind of know the story, maybe.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah. Now, is that something you wanted to do in the beginning at that age, was to be an actor?
Well, actually, I was a singer for 10 years.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah, I taught myself the guitar in high school when I was away at boarding school. And after I went to 1 year of college, I hooked up with a guy in college, and we were playing around local Indiana places. And then when I came home, I started singing in local clubs in Mount Vernon, New York, and White Plains, New York. And then I got on a tour of touring colleges. And I was playing a lot of oldies and some folk music, but mostly old rock and roll. And I ended up playing about 200 different colleges around the country. Yeah, I was on tour for about 9 years.
So they're mostly cover?
Yeah, mostly cover stuff. I had a couple of songs I wrote, but mostly all Everly Brothers and Elvis and Neil Diamond and the Beatles. Yeah, I had a great time.
And about what year was this?
It started around 67, around there, 68.
I was starting to walk. I was this tall.
Oh.
Yeah, I was 1.5 feet tall.
Oh, okay.
I was here. I was around.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to tell this story. You told me this when we went to lunch a couple of years ago at Tony Lip. And you told me about a story about fans showing up at your father's house. I think you said you were about 12.
Yeah, well, they would drive by the house in Crestwood when I was living there. And, you could see the cars slow up and go real slow in front of the house. And up in Connecticut, we had a beach house, and the people would walk along the beach, and they'd stop in front of the house, and they'd be looking, kind of from a distance, but looking in the windows. And my father would be in the dining room, and he'd be kind of hiding a little bit. And he'd say to me, look at them. Look at these people. It's like I'm in the zoo, and they're trying to get a look at me.
Did he ever tease them? With his comedic talent, did he ever maybe perform for them in the windows?
He would sometimes go to the picture window in the dining room and just start waving crazy, and the people then they didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
One time, somebody came up to the door, knocked on the door, and my father was in the kitchen having breakfast, and my mother answered the door. And they said, "Is this Art Carney's house?" And she went, "Oh, sure, come on in." And she brought him right into the kitchen where my father was having breakfast. And he was like, "What are you doing?" But, and they got a thrill out of it. And it was pretty funny. My father had him laughing pretty good.
Yeah, we were on our way to Maine one time. And I'd written to your father, I have to say, like 6 times. And I know he was very good with autographs. I have a signed golf ball. I sent him golf balls.
Oh, that was tough. He said, "Have you ever tried to sign a golf ball with a Sharpie with all the little dimples in it and stuff? It makes you look like you're 135 years old, But he would sign them, and he would send off the mail the same day that he got the requests. So he was pretty good about that.
Yeah, when I first found out you could write to someone, and get an autograph. He was the first person, I think it was 1995, 96, something like that. And he would send the photo, you probably know, with him coming out of the sewer. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. You've done, like you said, some TV commercials, and most notably the Geico commercials. Yeah,
that was probably the biggest campaign I ever did. I probably was in, 125 150
really?
Commercials on camera.
Wow.
Yeah, everything. I did commercials for beer and diapers and pain relievers.
Wow.
And
now, I recall the Geico commercial. I believe you are leading a meeting at the boardroom. Is that you? Is that one of
with the stain? The talking stain?
That's right.
That's not a Geico.
No, that's...
Okay. Oh,
that the one?
I'm not sure. I
think it's the one where they thought that the gecko was Australian or something, and he was actually English. He's the voice of an English actor.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, who's in soap operas in England, and I can't think of his name right now, but I did know it. So
how did you do that? Did they play what the lizard was saying? Was there a little stuffed lizard there?
No, they had a model of the height of the gecko, and I would look at the head, and then they would remove it, and I'd continue looking until they put a spot on the table, so it looked right like I was looking at his face.
Okay.
And the assistant director would read the gecko's lines, and I would be looking at this spot, talking to him, but there was nothing there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we did 14 different spots out in California. We shot them all.
And you do voiceover work for commercials?
Yeah, I did.
I've heard you on the New York stations.
Yeah, I've done. I did a lot of voice work too. For the first 10 years, I was just doing on camera. Then for 20 years, I was doing just voice. And then I got back into doing on camera again. But I did. I had a lot of campaigns for. Unlike soap with heavy perfumes and greasy creams, Ivory is pure. That was one. Or Tylenol, recommended the most by the people who know the most. Of course, my voice is a little huskier, I think, now than it was.
Oh, it's even more believable now, yeah.
Or Gold MasterCard, the best gold card to master the moment.
Nice.
That's just a few of them, but...
Was there any voiceover job that was like the most challenging to do?
Yeah, I was the voice of a air duct. Yeah, I had to be the voice of an air duct, and it was for a company that cleans air ducts.
Okay.
And this was an on-camera, too, a local on-camera ad. And I had to go like, if you're having trouble cleaning your air ducts, call up so-and-so and so-and-so, because they'll come by and they'll clean it for you. And that was the voice I had to do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That could go right to an anti-smoking campaign.
And it could. Yeah. But the problem was that doing that every once in a while,
you cough. Yeah.
I'd start coughing, Mm-hmm. So we tried to get it done as quickly as possible, but that was one of the more challenging ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now you're back to your father. He won an Academy Award for Harry and Tonto. Were you weren't there, were you?
No. I was out in the Hampton Bays, Long Island, with my wife at the time, with some friends watching it on television.
Okay.
And we were all very surprised because he was up against some tough guys.
Yeah. Al Pacino.
And
Godfather 2.
And, Chinatown.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Dustin Hoffman for, I think it was Lenny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a tough crowd, but he pulled it off. And being, I think, the sentimental favorite, too, didn't hurt because these other guys were young. And I think the Academy thought, these guys are going to win, awards and this and that. And my father was, getting up there. And but it was very exciting. I was really floored when he won it.
Now you have the award with you.
I do.
I've never seen one in person. And that bag is heavy.
It is. Well, I think the Oscar weighs about 8 pounds, something like that.
Oh, it feels heavier than that.
Yeah, lumped together.
And then I have one of his Emmys in here.
Do you want to show us the awards?
Sure. You want to look at them now?
Yeah,
sure.
Sure.
Oh, wow.
This is one of his Emmys. This is his Golden Globe that he won also for Harry and Tonto.
So what was the Emmy for?
That Emmy there, he won. Let me get back on mic here. He won this particular Emmy for a TV movie that he did.
That weighs more than 8 pounds.
I think it's about 8 pounds.
Wow, the Oscar.
No, that's got to be more than...
Yeah? I don't know. You can look it up online or something. Okay. How much it weighs?
Maybe as I'm older, I do little free weights. Maybe I'm not doing as much weight as I.
He needs to start lifting regularly with Oscar.
Yeah. Work out with Oscar.
I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No, this Emmy, this particular one, he won a movie called Terrible Joe Moran, which starred James Cagney, and he won Best Supporting Actor that year for this. And then he had another one.
You've never seen in person?
No, I haven't seen that.
He did a special called VIP, Very Important People, and he won an Emmy for that. That was back in the 60s, I think. And then he won 5 others connected with the Gleason Show.
And what's amazing, Jackie Gleason never won an Oscar.
No.
Never won even for The Hustler.
I just find that astounding that he never won anything because he was such a great actor. In comedy and in, drama.
Yeah, I don't know how the voting goes.
I don't know.
If you don't like the person.
I don't know if he stepped on some toes or what. I don't know.
Yeah.
But...
these are amazing.
Yeah, the name again of the movie?
What's that?
Harry and Tonto.
Harry and Tonto.
Oh, yeah, that he won the Oscar for.
Oh, Oscar, yeah.
That was 1974.
It's with the Cat's Tonto.
Yeah.
Cat won. I found out the Cat won an award. The heck was it called? A Patsy Award. they gave out awards for animals.
And Tonto won an award?
Yeah. Yeah, like last year.
We got awards. We got them for everybody. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that.
I looked at it. It was up to the 1980s.
Yeah.
And then they did away with it.
Oh, isn't that funny?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he won that year, too.
That's great.
Yeah.
A Patsy Award. What? Yeah. What did the cat have another name? A given name?
He's listed on the Internet Movie Database as Tonto.
He is.
Yeah. So I don't know if that was his real name.
And my father's name. My father's name in the movie was Harry Coombs. Yeah.
Yeah, I have that movie. I like that. That's a great movie. Along with Going in Style. That's another.
Yeah, I really loved Going in Style.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very well done. And, George Burns couldn't have been any better in that. God, he was so good.
Do you have some favorites, or that's one of your favorites, right?
Yeah, I love that. Lee Strasberg and my dad and George Burns.
Yeah.
I loved Harry and Tonto. He had a couple of good movies. He had another one called The Late Show with Lily Tomlin.
Yeah.
That was a terrific movie.
Wasn't he a detective?
Yeah, he played a detective.
Yeah, I think I have that one.
Yeah. And it was very confusing, but as the movie went on, you got updates, through the dialogue. Mm-hmm. They kind of brought you up to date.
I remember there was a cat in that one in the beginning.
Oh, there was?
A woman's missing
I don't
cat.
remember that.
Her cat was...
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Mm.
This is amazing to sit with you, Brian, and with the awards here. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, was there a point with your father where he obviously decided not to act anymore or just kind of retire? I think his last movie was with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, The Last Action Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he got blown up in a house at the end. He was tied to a chair.
Yeah.
I guess they just finished beating him up, and Arnold dove out a window, and the whole house exploded with my dad in there.
So that was his last.
I do remember seeing that. I did see that one. Yeah.
Very sad.
Yeah.
I got verklempt.
Did you live far away from your father at that point, or?
No. He lived in Yonkers, an area of Yonkers that had a Bronxville post office in New York, right by Sarah Lawrence College, and I was living in on McLean Avenue in Yonkers.
Okay. And the house in Connecticut, that was mostly a summer house?
Yeah.
I guess.
It was a summer house when we first bought it. And then later on, they had the house winterized. So when my parents were married for about 12 years and got divorced and remarried other people, and eventually divorced those people and remarried each other.
Remarried again, yeah.
And they were together for their last about 25 years, living in the house in Connecticut, in the beach house.
That's an amazing story of coming together.
Yeah, and we still have the house, and we rent it during the summer in order to help with the cost of keeping the house, with the taxes and the upkeep and the insurance and everything else.
Now, is there anything in the house of your father's, or it's just...
Yeah, there's one room where he had a desk, and we have a lot of some memorabilia in there, pictures and things like that, some awards.
I'd like to see the house sometime.
Yeah, it's a beautiful old house.
Like I said, my wife and I when we were on our way to Maine, we drove down. It's a dead end street, and we turned around. I think I mentioned this before. Did your father have an old truck?
Not that I know of. No.
Maybe I was at the wrong house. I thought
you could have been.
But I thought I saw him in the driveway. We didn't stay. We were at the end of the driveway there, because I had written to him so many times. I knew the address.
Well, you could have gone in. My mother probably would have let you in,
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that.
You could have had breakfast with him.
Yeah, if you had only known, you could have done that, Jim. Yeah.
Come
on in.
Sure, come on in.
Yeah. What are some new projects you're working on?
Nothing right now. I've been doing commercials and voiceovers for 45 years, if not longer than that. And it's just kind of slowed up, and so I'm just kind of enjoying all the extra free time. Because when I was working, it was a lot of walking around Manhattan and subways and buses. And, some days I'd have 5 or 6 auditions, and throw in a booking or two. And, it was a great time. I just enjoyed it so much. I was so fortunate to be able to make a living at it.
Oh, yeah. Doing something you love.
Yeah.
Do you travel at all? Is there any place that you like to go when you're away from home?
Well, let's see. My girlfriend and I, we've been to Italy, and we went to California just recently, and her daughter is up in Boston, her daughter Francesca. Mm-hmm. We visit them just recently also. And we're going back to California to another wedding coming up. And so I like to travel upstate New York. I like to fish. Been a fisherman since I was a little kid.
Mm-hmm. Is that streams or lakes?
It's the Sound and the ocean and the Salmon River up above Syracuse, New York there. And I also spend time on my motorcycles. I have a couple of motorcycles that I ride.
You're a Harley guy.
Yeah, I've got a couple of Harleys.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And I play a little golf. Not very well, but not enough to be any good, but it's enjoyable.
We should let you try one of those signature golf balls and see if it helps your game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only have one.
That's right. It might.
I only got one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might. It might.
I wanted to ask you about, there was an award show that you were a part of called the Carney Awards.
Right.
Is that no more?
Well, we haven't been able to get a hold of a big enough sponsor to keep it going.
Okay.
We did it for a few years, and it was very successful. It was the Carney Awards for character actors.
Yeah.
And it was a great idea by my friend Jim Katz and David Katz. And they came up with it, and it honored all these character actors that you see on television all the time and in movies. And you go, oh, I love that guy, or I love that girl.
And you don't know his name.
She's so wonderful.
Yeah.
What the heck is her name again? So you have to look up the movie she's in and then find out who she is. Well, this gave them a chance to be, the stars. Mm-hmm. Because these movies are no good without the character actors.
Oh, yeah.
You can have your stars, your Tom Cruises and all that, but you need backup, and
right. And it's often someone that the people are relating to. It's like, it's this connection, not just the lead actor, but it's this connection you really have with that actor. Yeah.
They almost feel closer.
Right. And the great job that he or she has just done.
Oh, they're such great actors. And we did that a few years, and it was really just a lot of fun. We had so much fun doing it. So we're still looking for some sponsors. We'd like to get a sponsor like, Pizza Hut, because Norton was always eating pizza.
Oh, yeah.
Have them donate $500,000 or something. I'm sure they can afford it. Or Burger King, or and one of those fast food places.
Or Benjamin Franklin Plumbing.
No. Yeah, that too. That would be good, yeah. Roto-Rooter.
Yeah.
That'd be classic.
No, I watched might have been the last one, which is a couple of years ago. It was on Cozy TV. Mm-hmm. Great. And then you had a little quiz show, or...
Right.
I guess to guess the character actors.
Yeah, the character actors.
Yeah.
They had a quiz show. And then we would have a character actor come out, and they had to guess what his name was. It's just very funny because you know the guy so well, and you don't have any idea what his name is.
Yeah, you've seen him in all this stuff.
And he's standing there and, feeling degraded, like nobody knows my name.
Yeah, you had the actual person.
Yeah, standing there,
Yeah.
It was great. It was great. And we actually had Harrison Ford come out and present an award also, which was pretty exciting.
It wasn't Jason Alexander on the board?
He could have been on the board, yeah.
Okay.
He never showed up to one of the shows. But we had some great character actors that received awards. If you ever want to look it
William
up,
H. Macy.
Yeah, just look up the CarneyAwards.com, and you can see all the people that we have. Steve Buscemi. There's just so many of them. It was great.
So one last question is, what would you say is your favorite Honeymooners episode? And there's probably more than one.
Oh, boy. It's a tough one because there's parts of each one that are just really stand out. I have to say that one of my favorites was when they were on the train, the two of them.
Yeah.
Ralph and Norton, going to Bismarck, North Dakota.
I think wasn't it Minneapolis? They ended up in Minneapolis, or they?
No, the train, it turns out, was going to somewhere else.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because they were looking for the girls, and the girls never made the train. But I think some of the stuff in that, when they're in the bunks, And some of the lines from there,
and they were
mind if I smoke? I don't care if you burn.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And also the $99,000
that's
answer.
My favorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they rent a piano, and
it's just great.
That is a great, ending to sum it all up.
Yeah.
That was a really good one.
Yeah, and Cramden, of course, you realize watching show after show how much he was in love with his wife. He would have done anything for her. Mm-hmm. And all that screaming and, bang, zoom and all that, he never would have touched her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And once in a while, I'll run into somebody that has a complaint about that.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Well, he was too mean to his wife and this and that. And I kind of feel like they missed the point about how much he adored her.
Oh, yeah.
Right. They took it to an extreme. It was so extreme between the vocal and what would really be done. It's so spread apart that that's the interest in it. Yeah.
I think they kind of missed the comedic part of that. Mm-hmm. Not that it's a funny thing, spousal abuse or anything like that, but it was.
Yeah, people are a little uptight.
And the writing of that show too. Those writers were just so simple and yet so funny and so relatable to everyday conversations. I hear it all the time. I hear lines
Well, it's amazing.
From the show.
There's still probably millions of fans out there.
Yeah.
That still watch the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I show up to some of these places that I frequent, and I bring the Norton hat, and I have that in there too.
Okay.
We haven't brought that out yet, but
we're gonna have to see that.
And they get so excited, these real honeymoonies, they call them, that they get scared to touch it.
Yeah.
They go, no, it's too iconic. I can't go near that.
I think it should be in a museum.
Well,
someday it will. Yeah.
It will probably, but right now I get so much pleasure out of bringing it to places.
Oh, yeah.
I brought it to retirement homes, and
weren't you somewhere the other night?
I was just at a place.
Someone posted a picture of.
Oh yeah, I was just. Boy, I can't get away with anything with you. Yeah, I was at a restaurant called Arturo's.
Yeah.
In Mayapack, New York. And my girlfriend Maggie's brother, Joe, is friends with the guy. And they got talking about the Honeymooners, and the guy said, geez, do you think he'd ever bring the hat and the Oscar in? And he said, yeah, he probably would. And I love doing it. I get so much pleasure out of it. These people are genuinely in love with that show. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah,
you and I first time I met you, we went to the Honeymooners musical.
Oh, that was.
At the Paper Mill.
I wanted to hear about that. Yes, that was a couple years ago, or
that was when was that?
3 or 4 years ago. I think.
Or more.
Yeah. But that was I saw it twice too.
Yeah.
And I was so disappointed that didn't come to Broadway.
I know.
Because it was so great, and I'm not saying that because
no, it was.
The cast,
the actors,
the acting, the singing, and the music, and the dancing and stuff. It was really. Yeah. Exceptional.
Yeah.
I was just amazed.
The girl that played Alice went on to Broadway.
Oh, she was great.
In Beetlejuice as one of the main cast.
She was great.
Tells you.
That song she sang on the stairway just blew me away.
Yeah. No, that was I said to my wife that one of the greatest nights of my life, besides getting married and the birth of my son.
And Trixie was there too.
Yeah,
Trixie,
she was there opening.
Joyce Randolph.
Well, we went back opening night.
Yeah.
And she was in the restaurant.
And I got a picture of her wearing the Norton hat.
Oh, okay.
Because I had the Norton hat to bring
we
backstage.
went to the after party.
Yeah.
At Charlie Brown's. That was great.
And I went backstage and met the guy who played Norton. He was thrilled to put the hat on. He was terrific. Yeah, the whole cast was great.
Yeah, and the girl, I think her name is Leslie Kreitcher, something like that, who played Alice. She took video, and then Asbury Park Press picked up on the video. What they say went viral.
Yeah,
yeah.
It was a great show.
Yeah. Do you want to do some music trivia?
Yeah, sure. I think we should do music trivia. Get back to the music.
What is this asking me about music?
No, you're going against me.
Yeah, that's the way we do it. See, that's why I think possibly.
Oh my God! This guy's a pro, though.
Well, we're going to find out. Whenever we do trivia, we have done it differently. Whenever I compete against Jim on the show, he always wins. But I'm not saying he's going to, be tops here. But no, you always get me by a little, just a point or two.
I have to get the book.
Yeah, well, let's do that.
I hope you're going to ask questions about a lot of like 50s, 50s and 60s music. I'm a little better at that. Oh yeah,
I am just impressed that you bring all three to the table. Wow.
Well, this is the.
Look at that. Is it gray, green? The lighting is a little low in here.
It's like a grayish green,
grayish green.
I think.
Yeah, grayish.
And it has a couple of red spots on it.
I saw that. It wouldn't be blood because it would be dried up. So.
No, you know what? The only thing I can think of is that during the shooting of the episode where they get drunk on the grape juice.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow, that would be something.
The only thing that I can think of because. It's right on the front here, and you can see it in photos and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then there's some more here on the brim.
I think you're standing in it. Yeah.
See, there's some on the brim.
Yeah.
Yeah, because grape juice definitely stains completely.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Mm-hmm. I tried finding one of those called cask. That they have the grape juice in. I wish I could find one of those.
Oh, did it have like straw on the outside of it? Or wicker?
Like, where do you even...
Oh.
I don't even know if they make them.
I think like Matus wine used to come in or something like that. Yeah. Oh, boy. And we're still recording?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
We're still in the air.
This could be embarrassing.
So Brian, if you get none of these, we can discuss editing, but we'll see what happens.
Don't get mad at us.
Yeah.
Rosemary Clooney.
We don't go that far.
Okay.
All right. So the way we do this is we'll choose someone who's going to get the question. And of course, if you don't get it in 10 seconds or so, or 20, 25, it goes to the other person. The other person could answer.
Okay.
So we'll
so there's no buzzer or anything.
Yeah, no. But if you get it right, there's no buzzer. But if you get it right, then of course, you're going to hear that.
And there's no prize.
Yes. Well, it's like
a brand new Buick.
It's like whose line is it anyways? Where the points don't matter. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go first, or you want?
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, he can go first here. All right. Okay. So this is on the fly here. So I don't
look away.
Yeah, and I don't have the answers right here. I have to go refer to that. Mm-hmm. So Brian.
Yeah.
From which early '60s group did 3 of the original 4 Young Rascals come? From which early '60s group?
Aren't they multiple choice?
It's a multiple choice. Here it is: the Ventures, Joey D and the Starlighters, or the Dan Lears. So 3 out of 4 of the Young Rascals came from this group.
I'll say Joey D and the Starlighters.
All righty.
Nice to see if you're right.
Mm-hmm.
This could take a while.
Do you know the answer?
No.
And the answer is Joey D and the Starlighters.
Wow. Oh, you got 1 point.
Peppermint Twist.
Yes.
I saw them at a club in New York City called the Phone Booth, the Young Rascals. And I also saw Joey D and the Starlighters at the bar that they played on 46th Street.
Did they have something to do with a group called the Critters, too?
Oh, they did? Yeah.
I think some of the Rascals were.
That's a younger girl keeps a rolling.
Because I think the Critters are still around.
Yeah.
Weren't they from New Jersey?
They could have been.
Maybe. Okay.
They could have been.
All right. So, Jim, you get the next one here. And we're going to the same time period. That's what I'm going to try to be fair, and not go that way. So, Jim, which famous solo performer toured in 1965 as a Beach Boy when Brian Wilson quit performing? So, which solo performer toured?
With the Beach Boys?
As a Beach Boy, yes, okay. Yes. Which one went from solo to Beach Boy?
Can't be John Stamos.
So, Dick Cavett, say Dick Cavett. So choices are Brian Hyland, Lou Christie, or Glenn Campbell.
I don't know the other people. I'm gonna go Glenn Campbell.
And you are correct. Oh. All right.
That would have been my guess too, honestly.
I think we're still back a few decades here. So Brian, what is folk rock singer Donovan's last name?
Oh, Donovan.
Licht, Spedding, or Sturdley?
Could you please repeat those names?
Did you?
They're not easy to say, and
I thought you hiccup.
Yeah. Obviously, Mike doesn't have this answer. All right, let me get them.
Well, he wants you to repeat it.
Got to find it again. Back there.
Donovan's last name.
Yes, Donovan's last name. Leach or Licht.
That's what it is, leech. That's the
leech.
answer.
So if I had said it correctly, you would have gotten it right away.
Leech.
Yeah, leech. And the spelling of leech is Leitch. Yep. All right. And I think Brian wants to hit that bell there. Go ahead and hit that bell there. All right, leech. That is correct. So we got all of them right so far. It is Brian 2, Jim 1.
Did you know that?
No.
Leech.
No. I think he said Lightich.
Yeah, it's either. I know someone named Lichty. It looks like licked without the Y on the end. Licked.
Let's keep it clean here.
Yeah. Licked. We had to go British on we had to use a British word in that last podcast that we just did. Anyway, we're gonna keep it clean.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
It was arse.
Arse, yes. Yeah. Jim didn't want to say the
ass? You didn't want to say ass.
Yeah. So arse. Yeah. We interviewed someone who was able to use arse and shite, maybe repeatedly there. All right. So this is yeah.
You've been into the grape juice.
Yeah, getting into the grape juice. Oh, harder questions.
Yeah, ask me a harder one.
You want a hard one?
Sure.
Oh, right. You got a hard one.
But then you have to give him a hard one.
Yes. All right. It is 2-1. So this is the second question for Jim. Before he teamed up with the Dakotas, who was Billy J. Kramer's backup band? Yeah, I think it's hard. The Coasters, the Flagstaffers, or the Pennsylvanians?
Whatever the first one.
The Coasters.
The Coasters was the first one. And I think you're going to guess that one because it's the only one that you know. Yeah. Very good. Well done.
Wow, that was the Coasters. I would have said the Flagstaffers.
Yeah. The Pennsylvanians or whatever.
All right. So, I don't know if this one's as hard, but it's under the hard ones here. Mm-hmm. So, by the way, I knew nothing about that last question. Mm-hmm. So we are 2-2. We got one more question each. Okay. Brian, what Beatles song did American songwriter Jerry Lieber say was the best song ever written? Which Beatles song? Was it Eleanor Rigby, A Day in the Life, or Revolution?
Day in the Life.
Oh, do I get to steal?
Yes, and you get to steal. So let me, because this is for thousands of dollars. I think it's $50,000. Yeah. So we get right back to it here. Was it
Eleanor Rigby?
Eleanor Rigby, A Day in the Life, or Revolution?
I'm going to say Eleanor Rigby then.
And you've got it. Okay. And
Day in the Life was.
No, that's a good song with the
on the Beatles channel on Sirius XM. Day in the Life is the number one.
Right. I would have not have said Eleanor Rigby. I would have said A Day in the Life.
Yeah.
Because it's not your standard Beatles.
No.
Love song or
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's that syncopated rhythm. Dum, 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 dum. It could be music.
That's one I used to sing.
You did.
I used to sing Eleanor Rigby.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, you know it well then. There's something, with that constant bass, and then everything else flows around.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're
done with that.
I think we're done.
Yeah. We're done.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, guys. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
we enjoyed it.
We got a appointment at the Colonnade Room.
Colonnade?
Yeah.
That's where we're going?
Yeah, remember Bill Davis? He's meeting us there.
Yeah. Brian, it's such a pleasure meeting you and hearing the stories and seeing you face to face.
Well, I've enjoyed it thoroughly. I really have. It was a good time. Thank you.
Thank you. You've been listening to No Good Music. Today's interview was produced and edited by Jim Thatcher and recorded at the Did You Say 7 Studios in Washington, New Jersey. You can find No Good Music on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, Pandora, and almost anywhere you listen to podcasts.